Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Melrose. Today is Friday, May 12, 2023. The sun is in Taurus and the moon is in Aquarius. So in our outer lives, we're very much about establishing security, connection, material comfort, safety, a sense of being able to continue to get what it is that you like to have so that you can feel supported and continue to do the work that you're doing. And the moon in Aquarius calls us out into the community and the collective to collaborate, to find our allies and our cohorts, those people that we're going to get into some good trouble with, right? So that third quarter moon also is a time when we shift gears from thinking about what it's time to let go of, thinking about what it's time to get rid of, maybe on a collective level, right? And then we shift gears out of thinking about it and move into taking action. So this might actually be a time to be getting into some good trouble. And by good trouble, I mean nonviolent trouble that just brings attention to things that are important to you, because we're very much in a mode, Mars trine Neptune right now, standing up for what we know to be right. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get on to this tarot card that sits on the side of the page. The tarot card that sits here is the Seven of Pentacles right now. And it's here because it corresponds in astrology with the last 10 days of the sun's transit here in the land of Taurus. Taurus is an earth element symbolism, is an earth sign, and pentacles represent earth element symbolism in tarot. That is all about the physical resources you possess, including your body and also including your money and anything else you might have to trade for things, right? So it's the physical resources you have and what you're willing to do with them in terms of work, expenditure, investment of time and experience to create something that will have a lasting value for yourself. So we come to the Seven of Pentacles here, and this is very much sort of this is a moment. The seven is a moment in all of the suits where there's a temptation to get distracted somehow. There's a temptation or to use distraction to get out of continuing to do the work, right? So here we are, metaphorically, we've planted our garden and we've given a lot of our time and effort and whatever expertise we have, whatever knowledge we have, and a lot of physical work and a lot of caring and attention has gone into growing this crop for ourselves, right? Well, it looks like it's almost right, but it's not quite there. So the idea here is that we still have a little bit of patience, a little bit of perseverance, a little bit more hard work to do, but we have to remain dedicated, right? There would be a temptation to get bored here, or to become restless, or to think this is taking too long. I'm just going to go do something else, right? Aries sun here, so of course I will definitely say this is taking too long. I'm going to go do something else, or this is taking too long. I'm going to go ahead and pluck all of these tomatoes, and even if they don't get me as much money as they would have, at least I've got this done, right? So this is your invitation not to be impatient, to stay in the game, okay? Keep working on the thing that you've been working on to create a sense of comfort and stability for yourself, and you're just gonna have to push through, right? This is the push through, okay? Push through the boredom, push through the distraction, but push through the impatience. Remain dedicated to the course that you're on. That's what the Seven of Pentacles says. And with that said, I'm going to throw another card here. Oh, well, that was odd. That came out upside down. Okay. The Chariot in reverse. You see that often my impulse is just to ignore the reversal, and it's not something that I always do, but I just kind of choose whether or not I'm going to consider it a reversed card, or if it's just the meaning of the card, right? So the Chariot is a card it's a major arcana card, so it's got a big message for us, and it's generally about reining in our impulses so that we can make progress, right? It really goes well, actually, with the Seven of Pentacles. This is reining in the impulse to be done, or to get distracted, or to to just walk away so that you can continue toward the thing. And this is saying toward the thing you're trying to get value out of, toward the thing, So so here we have the Chariot, and it did come out in reverse. So the Chariot in reverse would say, you know, that you're not reining in those impulses, that we're not necessarily, you know, what do I want to say? We're not necessarily paying attention to those habits that keep us from making progress at the rate and in the style that we would like to make it. Okay, so you know, the chariot says, I don't need to spend money on this thing over here, and I don't need to go socialize with these people over here, and I think this you know, I think this outing feels like a waste of time, and I feel like, you know, that thing looks like a big distraction, and I'm going to ignore all my impulses to do those things and keep my eyes on the goal, right? So in the Chariot reverse, we'd say that our eyes are not on the goal. Our eyes are very much on the distractions. We have certain things. This is really making me think of Uranus and Taurus. That's funny because Uranus is conjunct the sun in Taurus right now. So this is like the capacity to get distracted when you're trying to actually establish a sense of security and comfort for yourself, right? This capacity to either, you know, to overdo trying to get comfortable and trying to seek that stability to a point where, you know, you spend too much money in it and it was wasteful after all. Or, you know, this just tendency to ignore the sense, the desire for future security in favor of, you know, short-term comfort and short-term connection or short-term satisfaction of some kind. Right. So here we are. We are, you know, we're taking the payoff up front, right, and ignoring the long-term goal. That's what the Chariot in reverse is telling us. And this card here is saying, no, don't take the payoff up front. You know, stay the course. Don't get distracted. Please go do it. Please do what you have to do to make sure that this crop comes to full ripeness, so it will have the full value for you. Okay, so I've already said where I see that on the page. That's that sun, especially when the sun is conjunct to Uranus. The sun just amplifies things. It makes it brighter. It brings it to our attention. It brings it to our attention in a way where we can get really focused on it, right? Well, hard to focus on Uranus, except to say that Uranus brings about a lot of changes, a lot of shifting desires, a lot of shifting. With the sun, that would be shifting drives and ambitions, right? You know, and in the land of Taurus, that's not a comfortable fit. Taurus wants to stay the course. It wants to do what's tried and true. It wants to do the work that it loves so that it can have the comfort that it likes to have, right? So that it can have the sense of security, not just in the short term, but in the long term as well. So Sun conjunct Uranus might be shaking some things up in our sense of security, connection, comfort, stability in our lives right now, and might really be bringing about some distractions that are that are not the best course of action for us, right? Because if you put these two together, I mean, it's literally, I just realized this, like the Seven of Pentacles might be the minor arcana version of the Chariot, which is just like reining in those impulses so that you can make progress, right? But in reverse, this says you're distracted, you don't have your eyes on the prize. And this is saying, please don't get distracted. Keep your eyes on the prize. So, you know, let's put those together and realize, okay, there's another thing on the page here, that we have these opposing impulses, right? We do have an impulse here. We do know that what we've been working on, do know what would make us feel more secure in the long term. And we know what we want and we're trying to get it, right? We're putting our time and effort and energy into it. But we also can get just a little bit bored. We can get tired. We get fatigued from working on the same thing a lot, you know, all the time. So then it's easy to give yourself over to distraction, especially when the sun is actually saying, hey, look at this shiny thing over here. Hey, look at that shiny thing over here. Hey, look at this thing that's going to give you this automatic payoff, this sense of, you know, like, yay, I got the thing I wanted, right? While we're in the sign of Taurus. So, you know, that tension of opposites is also here in the Mars opposite Pluto. So with Mars, we want to take action, we want to move forward, we want to get things done. And Mars is a god of war. It's about conquest, it's about initiative, it's very self-focused and very self-driven, right? Whereas Pluto is actually the higher octave of Mars. That's the higher, more generational expression of Mars. So where Mars has this direct sort of outward power, Pluto is powerful too, but it's working in a more subtle, long-term way. Mars wants to speed directly forward, and Pluto wants to, bring us through. Pluto wants to weave a pattern that brings about our transformation, right? So we do have these opposing impulses now, especially with Pluto retrograde. We really need to be reflecting on and thinking about how we're going to integrate the changes we've been through, the changes we're going through, who we're going to be in light of the things that we've experienced now, right? So it's going to take both. It's going to take strategy and action, all right? Especially because today, on the other episode, I don't know if you watched both of them, we talked about our role in the human collective. How are we contributing to the collective uplift? What is it that we have to learn? What is it that we can do to make good trouble, to bring people's attention to unfairness and disparity, especially in the collective, out in culture? What can we do to make waves so that people understand the problem and want to help us solve it, right? So we're very much interested in wanting to be able to do something, but we're not sure how we can do it. It might just take some strategy, some planning, all right? A little bit of reining in of impulses, right? A little bit of not being distracted by, not being distracted by necessarily our drive just for material comfort at home, but which Venus is in Cancer, so that is a very strong drive for us right now. But being driven to understand what is needed in the collective and finding ways to share with the collective how we can help, how they can help, how we can all work together to help with everybody being uplifted, with everybody having the support that they need. So that's a lot of words to say. We have some conflicting impulses right now, and the guidance is to rein in those distractions, okay? Those things you like to do, be, and have that are just temporarily satisfying, but also serve as distractions from the goal, the thinking about, what the long term is going to bring for us. I think that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here. Let me know what kind of good trouble you've been up to. Put it in the comments, and I will see you all back here in the next video.